BBB.
What is up, business nerds? Happy Monday night. I think it's Monday night. Is it Monday night? Pretty sure it's Monday night. It's not a Wednesday night. I know it's not a Wednesday night because when a Wednesday night rolls around, I'm like, hey, who do I have on tonight? Tonight rolled around and you messaged me and you said, hey, Dan, do you have a link you can send me? And I was like, oh, shit, I forgot I told Eric that I could go live on Monday night. And I'm such a dumbass because I forgot my wife was out of town. So I got all three kids by myself. Of course, I made them promises about taking them out to dinner after I had like a golf event with our insurance company today, which is why I'm still like actually dressed nice because I don't dress like this. This isn't how Dan rolls. I'd be wearing like a cutoff t-shirt with some, spit on the collar or something. But I'm wearing a collared shirt because I was out golfing, acting fancy. $135. $135. Spent it all on beer shortly thereafter for the people that I won the money from because I felt bad because I shouldn't have won the money. But it's good to be live with you, Eric. This is the first Bookkeeping Beer and BS episode in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
I took maybe 3 weeks. I took a week off. I was up in the Boundary Waters, no internet, no cell phone, no nothing. And then I got back last week, but I had like a conflict with my Turfs Up radio show midday for some kiddo stuff. And then I didn't have a guest lined up for last Wednesday. I should have had you lined up, but instead we're doing a Monday night. But it's been like a 3-week hiatus. So we're coming on strong on a Monday night. We're bringing it back.
That's right.
I forget who I have on Wednesday. I got somebody on Wednesday, but it ain't no Monday night. It ain't no bonus Monday night episode. That all said, how the hell you doing, Eric Trice?
I'm good. I need to know, did you get $35 for winning at golf or having the worst score?
Now here's the thing. I used to be a really good golfer. Like I grew up golfing. That was like daycare in the summer as I was growing up. My parents would drop me off at the golf course and I would play somewhere between 18 and 36 holes, or I'd have like a lesson in the morning and then play all day. And so through high school, I was legit. I could ball. And then I got to college. And then like when you have to pay for golf yourself instead of your parents paying for it, you're like, oh, maybe I don't like golf as much as I thought I did. So then my game kind of slacked, but I was still like athletic, right? So I could rip the ball. Got it. I spent almost a decade in the corporate world. So then I like got back into it because that's like how you do business in the corporate world is you go like hang out with the dudes at the golf course. But then once I got into the home service space, I mean, I've been in this world for 7-8 years now. And so I basically play like once a year. So what happens when I golf, and this is almost, sometimes I come out just like striping it and I'm like, oh, no bad habits. Today it took me a little bit to get it going. So I think I shot like, and we didn't play the farthest tees back. We didn't play like the 7,000 yard tees, but we played the 6,700, 68 yard tees. So we were like back there, just not all the way back there. I would have voted for like one closer set of tees, but the guy I was with was like, he plays more often. He's like, we'll play the golds. And I was like, I'm just not going to argue. Like I'll just lose more golf balls then. So I think I shot a 48 on the front, but then I shot a 41 on the back, and we made the bet on hole 11. So like we played hole 10 on the first hole of the back nine. He's like, why don't we put some money on line? And there was one other guy that was playing with us that was similar skill level. So we just did a skins game, and I think I won 5 of the 8 holes.
Oh yeah.
So now let's not to confuse anything. Like if we were just playing by score, I probably beat them. But the last hole, there was like 2 holes carried over into hole 18, and I was sitting pretty. I had an easy approach shot from like 120 yards in. Could have like put it on, 2-putted for a par, would have won the hole. Instead, I shanked a pitching wedge into the hazard because that's what you do when you golf once a year. And then like I dropped the ball, hit it on the green 32 feet away. I had a winding, I say 32 feet. I have no freaking idea how far away it was. It was 30 plus feet. I had a winding downhill putt and I just happened to sink it for a bogey. And that bogey ended up beating both of them because they both also hit it in the hazard and they both took doubles. So hence
it's a win.
Hence I was the one buying the beer. And now here we are. But I'll take it. They were so defeated when I they thought it was between them, right? Mm-hmm. Like they were both 10 feet away putting for bogey. I was 30 plus feet away putting for bogey. I made mine. They missed theirs. End of story. Did I mention this watermelon margarita thing sucks that I'm having? I think I mentioned that before. Yeah, super disappointing. Everyone, don't smash a watermelon in your margarita. It's not as good as it would seem like it is.
I have a feeling if you didn't win at golf and you weren't buying everybody beer, you probably wouldn't have tried that.
I don't know. Getting 3 kids to bed, I feel like warrants whatever type of margarita you want. And I cut up now it was out of necessity. It wasn't out of desire. I have a 12-pound bowl of watermelon cut up in the fridge that's been in there for like 2 days. And I'm like, when are we going to eat all this watermelon? Well, I guess if I'm going to make a drink, I might have I was going to grab a beer. I actually have some beers I got the cooler next to me because you got to have the cooler next to you. So I was going to have a beer and I was like, I opened the fridge and I was like, there's all this watermelon in here. Seemed like a good idea to have a watermelon margarita.
Next time.
Not as good an idea as that. Let's quit talking about me. Let's talk a little bit about Eric Trice and some fleet washing. Now, I think I'd have to look back. You may or may not be the number 1 podcast in the history of Bookkeeping Beer and BS podcast episodes.
I like it.
You're like way up there.
I'm not sure why, but I'll take
it. Skyrocketed. People be loving the Fleet Wash. Now, Fleet Wash Academy was like a solo event. I'm gonna get into your business, but I want to hit on Fleet Wash Academy to start with, while people are like, "Hey, why is Dan telling stupid stories about sucking at golf?" Let's talk Fleet Wash Academy. Then let's talk about your business, and we'll come back to Fleet Wash Academy. But Fleet Wash Academy, I was at not this past spring, but the spring before. And you had it in Vegas, and I think you had it the year before as well. Like you had it for a few years in a row, just as a standalone event. Yeah. And it was a good event. I don't know. We had like 100 people there, and seemed like a good engaged group. Except Vegas is expensive. Like every time I'd go buy a beer, it was like $14.
Yeah, Vegas was not a cheap endeavor.
No,
by any means.
But now if I understand things correctly, how does this work? I know you're doing it like before the huge convention. Are you tying in with the huge convention? Is it a standalone thing? How does Fleet Wash Academy work in its current capacity?
Yeah, so we started this back in, I don't know, it might have been like 2017, 2016. Our first one was in Detroit, and Nate and I just had the idea at random, like we should do an event. This would be fun, and we had some help from another industry vendor that was based out of Detroit, so we did it in Detroit, and we had, I don't know, maybe 60 people at the first one. But it was cool because we had a guy from Uruguay, South America. We had a guy from New Zealand, some guys from Canada, which I guess Detroit's really not that far from Canada, but seems far to me. So it was a good turnout, and we decided, hey, let's do it again. And we did it for a couple years in Florida, which was really cool. And then we took a year off because of COVID, and we did the last one in Vegas. And really, like the whole thing all along was we wanted to focus on how to build a business first. A little bit like how to wash a truck, right? A little bit about the science and like ways to do it, but it was 90% how to grow a business, how to get off the truck, how to know your numbers and all that good stuff. Because that's really the hard shit. Mm-hmm. And then
that doesn't seem like the hard shit. Like for anybody that's new coming in, that part feels like it'll be easy. Yeah. Right. I think we've all been there. It's like when you first start out, you're like, oh, I'm getting all this technical stuff down. Like all the business stuff is just kind of frou-frou, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, oh yeah, leadership and culture and blah, blah, blah. Systems and processes. It's just systems and processes, right? Like learning how to actually like spray the thing and do the thing. That seems like the technical aspect would be the hard part. And man, like the faster you can get over that hump and start trying to learn how to be a CEO. Yeah. It's just like, it's another world, man. Not a bad world. Not a world meant for everybody, but it's another world.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of one-on-one like coaching or consulting and stuff. And we do like one day just like showing you how to wash a truck. All the other time is around like, here's what we do. Here's our processes, how to grow the business. Here's how you get off the truck. Here's all this other stuff. Let me spend 3 hours with you and I can teach you how to wash a truck in 10 minutes. Like we'll have guys come in, never washed a truck before in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes them a half hour to do the first one. And then 2.5, 3 hours later, they're like banging them out in like 10 minutes a piece. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's all we ask of our guys. Not even that much, but that's easy. Anybody can do that. So we all focused on that. And what we found was when we did our first one in Detroit, it was like the middle of winter, which was kind of dumb because it's cold there. We didn't really. The idea was fleet washers are slow in the winter, like it slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Let's do it in the winter. But after that, we were like, no, we're going to Florida. Like Florida sounds way better than Detroit in the middle of February. So
for all parties involved.
Yeah. So the second one we did in Florida, there were like a couple other events. Like one other event popped up. And we went to do the third one. Then it was like there was like 10 events between January and February. And it's still like that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get people to come to our event when you've got the soft wash, the power wash store, you got the PW Alphabet Club, you got like
PWMCA. It's the PWMCA.
Yeah, there it is.
It's like the YMCA. They don't have a song and dance for it yet. But I love PWMCA. Jamie Schmidt, shout out.
There we go. So we were competing with all these other events, and like we get it. Like it's expensive to go to all these events. It's not the $200, $300 ticket. It's the flight, the hotel,
yeah, all the flight and the hotel, man.
All the beer and margaritas you're going to drink while you're there.
It's definitely the Busch Lights. They rack up.
They had a
especially if you're in Vegas, they rack up at $14 a pop.
So like after Vegas, we're like, all right. Then the Huge was bought, I think the year we did Vegas, and they kind of turned it a little bit to where it was. I never went to the Huge before last year, but I felt like before it was very like vendor showcase expo focused.
Yeah, and it had a more like window cleaning and pressure washing, and like pressure washing more like residential / building, not fleet wash. And definitely over the last couple of years with the new group, very much like it is not industry specific.
Right. Very business, how to build your business focus.
Yep.
So that kind of really aligns with what we were doing. So it was like, why not work with the Huge, try to bring a fleet wash presence because there isn't one.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already kind of have the same mindset as we do. So let's work with them, do an event the day before or 2 days before or whatever it is. I think it's the day before. Yeah. And do it that way. That way you're not having to go to another event. You're not having to decide if you want to spend money to go to this one, this one, this one. Like everybody goes to the Huge. Like come there early and learn how to wash trucks.
I want to drop a bomb real quick. Just for everybody that's watching right now, which is Eric and I have 10 tickets to give away. Just kidding. Eric has 10 tickets to give away, and I just attached myself to it. I just said, like, me too. So here's the deal, though. We don't have a specific way we're going to give these tickets away. We have 10 tickets to give away. We might give them away at the end. We might start giving them away randomly based on interactions from you guys. So make sure you're interacting. We're going to tell some goofy stories. We might see who reciprocates said goofy stories and tie a few tickets into said stupid stories. Let me start doing this. I want to we got some good interaction going. David Flip says, "Good evening, folks." Jason Hefner, huge convention extraordinaire, says, "Fleet washing, I'm getting a lot of calls for RVs." Same thing? Is that the same thing, Eric? Would an RV be the same thing?
It's got wheels, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you're probably going to them, right, Jason? If you're going to call for an RV, you're going to them. I guess you would too, Eric.
Yeah.
You would probably try to line up 10 of them.
Yeah. Or
would you do it more like a house soft wash, or would you do it more like you would wash a truck?
More like a truck. Probably with RVs, like it's not going to be as like quick like of a wash as like you're going to go out and wash like a tractor trailer, but you're going to soap it down and brush it down and charge them a couple $100 and keep on going.
Gotcha. Would you two-step it?
Probably not an RV. I could, but I'm gonna probably take a little more time on RV.
Can I admit something? I have no idea what the fuck two-stepping is. I just know it's a thing that you fleet washing guys do. What is two-stepping? How is it different than just like spraying some suds on something and then washing it down?
Well, they're gonna have to come to the class to figure that out.
Oh, I like it. Jason did say, he called my bitch ass out. He said, if you add a lot more Jose to it, it will taste good for my shitty watermelon margarita. And he also said, getting off the truck, he said, is the hard park. I think he meant hard part. I don't know if he's if he's a skateboarder and he's like, man, it's a hard park, man.
It's only as hard as you make it.
You like to see homo naked? Home where you make it. No, it is. I mean, growing a business that is the hard part, right? Because like we can all watch a bunch of YouTube videos to go figure out how to do the thing. Growing a business takes a different sort of skill set, and it's that like nature versus nurture. Some of it's definitely learned, and some of it's just innate, the ability to like build a culture and be a leader. You can definitely learn it, but
yeah,
there's some things that are innate to that.
It's really hard to grow when you're trying to do sales and you're on the truck and you're fixing trucks and you're trying to manage people. Like,
yeah,
you can't. Like, there comes a point where it's like, do you want to grow your business or you want to just wash trucks? Or be
the man formerly named J.C. Chanowski chimed in, said two-step is a dance, Dan. I don't disagree. That's how I understand.
There is some rhythm to the two-step. I always tell my guys, you got to find your rhythm.
I believe it. I forget who was this. It just says Facebook user because they didn't click the thing that lets me see who they are. Who said this? Oh, Jason said, FYI, all the rich people have moved to Florida. Sounds like it's a good spot to be. He does want to know. He's going to be at the Huge. You going to teach some RV washing? Is that a thing that you would talk about?
Yeah, I mean that's easy. I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say it's easy because I've done it so long. But it's not hard. I bet,
yeah, especially for Jason in Florida. Shit, half my employees on my bookkeeping team, probably more than that, live like they are RVers. That's their thing. They like live in their RV and travel around. They love that. We got a shout out. We got a little shout out here.
Oh boy.
Who dis? Eric Tower says, "What's up, you handsome devils?" What's up, Eric? We're going 1,000 on black when we're next time I see you. Says I need 2 tickets, but more so need some RV knowledge.
We'll drop the RV knowledge.
That was Jason Hefner. Eric Tower. I didn't even see this other comment. Eric Tower says, "Fish stories, 1K on black stories." I don't know if you heard this one, Eric Trice. When Tower and I were at Responsicon in Arizona, we were just BSing. And he's like, "Hey, you like to gamble?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm a fucking bookkeeper. Like, I don't like to gamble. Like, it makes me uncomfortable." And he's like, "Well, I think I'm going to put $1,000 on red or black. I'll let the bookkeeping beer and BS audience decide." This video's got to be still out there somewhere in the bookkeeping beer and BS feedback in like end of January, early February.
Right.
Let the bookkeeping beer and BS group decide. And we'll see if we win $1,000. And if we do, we're going to donate it all to Level Up, Responsibids charity.
Hell yeah.
And once you know it, put 1,000 down on black. I'll be damned if we almost didn't win because we didn't realize that we won. We were all so like busy chatting about the bet. It rolled black and we never collected. And then somebody, I forget, I think it was Rob Anderson, was like, "Hey, you guys need to grab your money because otherwise they're about to roll again and you're about to make a $2,000 bet." And we're like, "Oh shit." So we grabbed the $2,000 in chips and made a healthy donation. Eric Tower, the man, the myth, the legend, winning $2,000. And the awesome part is then Responsibid matches it. So it was $4,000 for level up. It's beauty.
Hell yeah.
Who dis? There's just so many comments. Jason Hefner says luxury RV parks destination are a thing in my town. I bet they are. It's just like what's going on down there. Who else we got? Who else is checking in? What's up, Tyler Olson? What's up, Dale Turner? Nick Sousa in the house. Brian Schmaltz.
I know Brian.
He says, I like riding a lion, trying to figure out how you got on it and make sure it doesn't eat you. That would be fun. It's like Brian, I'm curious, are you like blacked out before you get on it and then you come to and you're just riding a lion?
I'm curious if Brian's talking about getting off the truck or if he's talking about trying to do the two-step or he's just talking about Vegas.
It says, it's like riding a lion, trying to figure out how you got on it and make sure it doesn't eat you. That sounds like the truck. I'm going with the truck.
That is Vegas. Brian was in Vegas with us.
Hold on. I got a shout out here. Check this out. Nick. Is it Nick Sousa or Salsa?
Sosa.
Sousa. Is it Sousa?
I'm going with Sosa.
Sousa, Salsa, or Sosa. It has to be one of those three. Nick says, we signed up with Blue Skies and Skip is the man. Skip is the man. He says, Sue-swa. Is it Sue-swa? Or is it Sue-swa? Sue-swa. Brian says he was in Vegas. He don't remember. He doesn't remember. It was the last night. Was it the last night? Eric Tower. Was it the last night? It was one of the last nights. I think it was the last night. Had to be the last night. So maybe that's why you missed it, Brian. Maybe you were busy doing sweet things that we weren't doing. Jared, formerly known as JC Chanowski, says it was a blurry night for sure. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a blurry night. I felt like I was 100% coherent, except for when the bet was won. I was not paying attention at all because I was still talking to people about the fact that the bet was being made. Now, here's the deal, Eric. So I think we're in agreement that Fleet Wash Academy is the day before Huge Convention.
Yes.
I think the Huge is Thursday, Friday, correct? So Fleet Wash Academy is like an all day Wednesday thing?
Yes. Because
I'm gonna say it's Wednesday the 16th.
No.
Is it Wednesday the 23rd?
You're gonna make me pull up the website.
Yeah, pull up the website. I forget if the Huge is the 17th and 18th or the 24th and 25th.
I think it's 24th, 25th. Because I think AMP is the 22nd. Is that correct?
That would require me to pay attention to when things are.
I understand.
Which I haven't done. All right. JC is Jared, formerly known as JC, says it is the 23rd. So yeah, the Huge is the 24th and 25th of August. Fleet Wash Academy is the 23rd. AMP is the 22nd. And isn't AMP having a guest day on the 22nd too?
They are.
On the 22nd? Now, I haven't been to an AMP meeting ever because the last time I was there was still BBB. So I really got to get my ass back there before I get disbarred or something.
I think that the rumor going around last time was if you don't come to the next one, you're out.
Well, good thing I'm emceeing the Huge, so I'll just have to tell my wife I got to go for a few days of prep. Going in for a few days of prep. It'll be fine. Do you have can you give us some like teasers? What are we in store for on the 23rd at Fleet Wash Academy? I guess A, give us some teasers of it. B, how do we get signed up for that? And how does that, like, if we sign up for that, are we in for the Huge? If we sign up for the Huge, are we into Fleet Wash Academy automatically? Like, how does that all fit?
Yeah. So I guess first off, if you sign up through the Fleet Wash Academy, let me see if I can find the registration link.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We could even
that'd be super helpful.
We could post that for people.
If you sign up for that, it comes with a ticket to the Huge.
Oh,
so that's pretty cool.
Oh, this is like the square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square sort of thing. Like if you sign up for Fleet Wash Academy, you get into the Huge, But if you sign up for the huge, you don't automatically get into Fleet Wash Academy.
That's right.
So you might as well sign up for Fleet Wash Academy.
You might as well. Come a day early, learn about washing trucks.
It'd be silly not to.
All right. Here it is. How do let's see if it'll let me comment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have a phone. What's the link? Hit me with the link.
I'll send it to you in Messenger, I guess.
Oh, neato.
I don't know how this technology stuff works.
Yeah, there's a lot of technology going on. I am not the guy for that.
So yeah, if you register through that link, you get a free ticket to the huge. If you've already bought your ticket to the huge, shoot me a message and we'll get you set up. We'll make it work. And then as far as what we're doing, we've got, obviously we're going to do like a basics, like how to wash trucks. That way, like everybody who comes who doesn't know how to wash trucks and wants to learn about it, they're going to understand the difference between a two-step, a single step, different methods of how to apply your chemicals and what different chemicals do and all that good stuff. Everything you need to know to wash a truck.
So you're really not going to tell us what two-stepping is? You're going to make us wait?
Two-stepping is basically you apply low pH acid to the truck.
Don't tell us. That's enough. That's a good tease. Low pH acid. That's a great tease.
That's right.
I like it.
Followed up with a high pH alkaline soap, and some magic fairy shit happens, and you rinse the truck off, and it's clean.
Somebody says concrete trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they meant cement trucks, or maybe they were trying to slyly say buildings.
We haven't done a ton of cement like tank trucks or like the ready mix trucks, but we have done a ton of the bulk cement trucks and chipping old dried up concrete off the top of them. It's a good time.
Booyah. Hey, wait, I gotta hit this. I totally missed this. This was from Responsicon. Brian says that whole time was blurry. Nick says I was in Vegas and the knowledge you guys put out is 3x our revenue.
We're X3.
That was only 4 months ago.
Just more than that.
5 months ago.
It was
end of January.
That was probably over a year.
No, I think he was. Oh no. Yeah, I was. You are right. I was thinking ResponseCon. You were talking about Fleet Wash Academy last year. I can't read good. This watermelon margarita, man. Holy Christ. All right. Nick, 3X and things. Booyah.
Hell yeah.
What do we got here? We got another comment. I just got to keep up. Zach Vernon in the house. What's up, Zach? Let's see here. It says, Eric, we're building a website and honestly using yours as a baseline if that's cool with you. That was like FYI. And if it's cool with you, just FYI.
Who was that?
I love it. That was Nick.
All right. You can buy me a beer. It's huge.
He did say he 3x'd over 2022. Oh, then it's not cool. No, good job, Nick. That's fucking awesome. Good stuff. Jason says, cement trucks. There's a ton of concrete plants near me and residential construction's booming. Cement trucks, man. They probably need a lot of cleaning because you probably don't want that shit to dry. That's all I'm saying. That's all I know from a nerdy bookkeeper. Now, Fleet Wash Academy, Wednesday, the 23rd?
23rd.
August 23rd, that is. So literally less than 2 months away. Maybe flying on the 22nd, or maybe flying on the 21st and check out the mastermind on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Check out Ant Mastermind. Check that out. So is that an all-day event for Fleet Wash Academy?
Yeah, it's an all-day deal.
Is there gonna be beer there?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course. You should join us.
Apparently, I'll be there because I got to come on the 22nd anyway, so that I don't get kicked out of Ant Mastermind.
No, it's going to be awesome, man. We've got Michael Hinderleiter. I don't 100% know what he is going to be talking about yet.
I mean, who cares what he's talking about? Guy's a
he's
freaking
like the OG of fleet washing. I'm doing sales. I'm going to basically lay out what we did. Not last year. Was it last year? Year before last. To add on over $1 million in reoccurring revenue in 10 months. Basically going through our whole sales process and how we did that. So that helps to do those to 3x your revenue.
Oh, I see a pretty snazzy picture of you. Look at this. Look at this, everybody. I got to share some screen. Look at this guy. Look at this fancy ass guy here.
I clean up every now and then.
Yeah, let me go screen too. I'm going to share this thing. So I'm on that Fleet Wash Academy page right here. You can hugeconvention.kartra.com/page/FleetWash23 and a bunch of other shit. Click on the links. There's a link on Facebook. There's a link in YouTube. Click on those. And it notes, let's see here. I froze up because sharing your screen couldn't possibly be easy in the 21st century.
It's 2023.
There we go. So there's a bunch of like the keynote speakers in here. I imagine these are like the people speaking at the Huge, or are these?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're on our page, but
I was gonna say I don't think these are the people speaking at Fleet Wash. I think these are the people speaking at Fleet Wash. We got Michael Hinderleiter, president PowerWash.com. We got this friggin' handsome devil, Eric Trice. This is what you look like when you're all like dressed up and looking fancy.
Yeah.
Sid Graff, the window wizard, and then our very own Sean Day from Blue Skies Cruton going to be there talking about hiring people so you can actually, not have to be the one cleaning everything.
Speaking of Blue Skies, I'll do a little plug for Sean Day right now. I've got.
Oh, let's hear that. Let's hear that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we're only booking that far out. I got 8 interviews scheduled for one location, and I don't know if it'll let me pull up the calendar for the other one. Let's see. It's not worth it. Probably like 30 scheduled for the other one.
You have so many, it's overloaded. And you're using my guy Sean Day, my guy Sean Day there.
Sean Day. We got Tim Roos. I don't know.
Roos. He's like a kangaroos.
Tim's hooking it up.
Tim's wife works as a bookkeeper on our team too. We have the whole family. Pretty soon we're going to hire their kids. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, we're going to get the whole crew. Grandma and grandpa, uncles, aunts, get them all. Cousins. We'll hire that whole damn family.
I did that for my company. It worked out pretty good.
Now, you only have to hire for 2 reasons, Eric. Mm-hmm. And for those of you watching, there's probably some huge convention tickets about to be given away here. Maybe we might go through some of the comments already and dish out a ticket or 2. We're looking for interaction. We're looking for you guys to interact and drop some bombs. And I know this already happened, so I'm just gonna trip Eric up and drop it so that he has to talk about it. There's only 2 reasons why you hire people, Eric. There is the hiring that we all like, which is because you're growing like crazy and you need to expand your capacity. And then there's the hiring that happens when your manager steals a car from you. So can you tell us of all the hiring that you're doing, how much is growth-minded hiring versus replacement-minded hiring? Give us that. Let's get a little update on your business. I want to get into the multi-location business because I know it's not easy. Like I know, like there's so many awesome parts to it and so many terrible parts to it. I want to hear your update on it. But even before that, I just want to hear the story. I've heard bits and pieces of it, but now it's like the open platform of the story of how you got it's not even really like a car stolen. I'll just let you tell it. I can't even define it. Go.
So I'm going to have to agree. I'm still trying to define it myself. Fortunately, we already had a guy in-house that we were able to transition to kind of take his position, or we've got to we're good. We're going to hopefully bring somebody up and put him in that role, and it's going to work out. So we're not actually looking.
That's fortunate, man. Like, there's nothing worse than being shorthanded and being like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
we don't have anybody."
So honestly,
was he like a GM or what? What role was this Yahoo in?
So he was the operations or production manager for our second location.
Is that the head guy in charge there? Like, he was number one there?
He was the number one head honcho.
Yeah.
And
a guy you'd think you could trust.
Indeed. He was actually doing pretty good. He was, making that place his own and kind of really got everything put together. And it felt like when you walked in there, like you felt like you were somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was kind of finished, like where we left off. So that was cool. Like he kind of made it his own. He was figuring it out. We were still working on some stuff. He'd only been with us since the last week in March, I think.
Okay, so a few months.
Yeah, so not like crazy long.
How'd you find this guy? Did Blue Skies recruit him for you, or was
they did?
Where'd he come from?
Blue Skies.
Okay.
I don't know. We probably should have left that out.
No, I mean, like, hey, you hired his ass. It's not our fault, dumbass. Why'd you hire him? We set him up. You knock him down. What'd you knock him down for?
I think, he was doing good. Like I told you before we got started last month, month of May, we had like a 68% gross margin. Like,
yeah,
it was fucking awesome. How did it happen? So when we hired this fella, he had a car. Obviously that was an important thing. He had to have a way to get to work.
You got to get to work. That's neat.
He had to not really drive a lot, but a little bit of, putzing here and there, grabbing stuff from like the hardware store or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess it was looking back now, I'm like, those should have been some like red flags.
Hindsight's 2020, man.
Do what?
I said hindsight is 2020, man.
A few times he'd come over to our main location for, like a meeting or going over like some little bit of like office training or whatever.
Yeah.
He'd always rent a car, which was
weird.
And he was riding his bike to work a lot, which I was like, whatever. My man wants to be active, and he had all his gym stuff at the shop, and like he was, physically fit kind of guy.
Just an exercising son of a gun.
I'm like, you know what? If you want to drive your bicycle down the interstate, I'm not, but whatever. Have at it.
Yeah, hey man, I get it. I get it. Maybe he's like a little bit of a planetarian, just trying to help out.
Yeah,
save some fumes.
So he told me he was looking for a car, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then he was like, hey, do you think we could advance my salary or my bonus or whatever so that I can get this car? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know that I can do that. Let me run the numbers and see where we're at. Like,
there's these things called banks. Right. And they're really good at lending people money. That's like actually what they do for a living.
And so I said, well, let me know what you need. Because I'm thinking he wants to go like put a down payment to buy a car. Whatever.
Yeah.
He said, let me know what you need. And if we can make it work, we'll make it work. If we can't, sorry about your luck. And then I was doing something. I was looking at like credit card statements on like a Monday morning or a Tuesday morning or something a couple weeks ago and going through everything. And I see this charge. I'm like, well, that's different.
I don't remember that one.
And it was for Auto Bid Center. And I was like, well, that's different. Let me look it up. And it was an auction place to buy cars. And I'm like, huh, that's peculiar. So I really didn't know what to do. I kind of sat on it for a day because I hadn't posted yet. So I'm like, maybe it was like not actually. Maybe this isn't real.
This is just a dream. It's just a dream.
I said, let me give it a day and see if it actually posts. So it did, and I'm like, all right. So I sent this fellow a message. I was like, hey, I just saw these 3 charges for a little over $6,000, and I'm on the phone with American Express to dispute it. I just wanted to confirm that you don't know what this is about. And just plain as day, he responds, I do. I did make those transactions. So yeah, I was kind of taken aback. And then
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think my exact words were, on what fucking planet does this sound like something reasonable that you should do?
Yeah.
And he was like, here's the kicker. And to this day, I've never gotten hey boss, I fucked up. I'm sorry. No. What I got back was
with it. He's just taking this one to his grave.
I will email you shortly to explain how I will repay you the money.
Like from the get-go, the intent for him was, I'm gonna buy Eric won't front me the money, so I'm gonna buy it with Eric's money and apologize and then pay him back later.
Yeah.
And or not pay him back. Probably.
So he kept saying like, oh, it was just an impulse decision. I think his exact words were, in order to 100% commit to my roles and responsibilities, I made an impulse decision to buy this car for myself. Something kind of close to that.
In order to keep my job, I made a decision that will get me fired.
So, yeah, it was.
So now, and I think I asked you this question, and I forget exactly how you answered it, but where I go sideways is like, who owns the car? Because like he bought it, but you paid for it. So is it his car or is it your car?
See, the problem is, at least this is what the cop said. He believed it's already titled, that he titled it in his name. Because apparently titling companies don't particularly care. As long as somebody pays them.
Yeah, pay me the fee and we'll put whatever name on it you want.
Yeah. So he said there's a chance that they could get it back and I could sell it or whatever, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. We'll see what happens.
What if that does happen, what car did you win?
I bought I'm unsure of the year, but I bought myself a black Infiniti G37 with
sounds like a great fleet washing vehicle.
With fancy exhaust pipes. I'll also send you a picture.
Dope, man. You're gonna look cool, man.
So it just gets better because we went to.
It gets better.
So when I went to fire him, I was like, all right, man, like run me through this because I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around all this. Like how did we get here? And at first he was like, are you talking like as far as the operation goes or the credit card or what? I was like,
guess, take a wild ass guess.
I was like, what do you mean operation? He was like, well, just like from when I was hired and everything we've done. And, you know, are you wondering how that's going or was it just a credit card? I was like, yeah, man, I'm really actually concerned about the car I just bought. So let's go through that one. And again, still never like apologized or nothing. He was like, well, I knew I was going to get some pushback and I knew you'd be mad, but it was a sacrifice I was willing to take. And
there it is. If everybody's wondering, it's got some sweet ass exhaust pipes on that.
Oh, yeah.
There. How many trucks do you think you can wash in a day with that?
I bet you could if you really tried, you could probably do 5 or 6.
If you set it up right, take the back seat out of it.
Yeah, and you got a bucket and some brushes, and you have to throw your garden hose in there, and hopefully they got water. You can make it work.
Yeah,
especially if it's a free car. I mean, you can get after it.
Yeah, rip it out. I mean, the funny thing to me is, and I'll never understand. I can't understand. I can't put myself in those shoes. But like, here's a dude that, from all I can tell, could hardly afford a vehicle, right? If I'm in his shoes, I'm buying a 2004 Toyota Corolla with 240,000 miles on it for $2,000, right? This dude goes to an auction and buys a $20,000 car. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? The fuck is wrong with him? Like, he spent more on this car than I spent 7 years ago on my 2011 F-150 that I paid for in cash. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
So
what's wrong with people?
You're almost right, because he actually didn't spend anything.
You're right. How much is, I don't even know like what year or what, like how much this Infinity costs, but Infinities aren't cheap. It's got to be a few bucks worth of vehicle. It ain't $6,000. Not with that sweet ass exhaust on that puppy.
No, that's a grand right there. So it gets better though. So
this keeps going.
It keeps going. I asked him. Wow. I said, well, there's two parts. So one, I was like, you keep mentioning how it was an impulse buy. I was like, I assume the credit card charge for the Uber for $48 was your ride to go to this auction place. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, when you got there,
a long ass impulse already.
Did you have the means to purchase said vehicle on your own? Had you acquired or secured a bank loan? No. Did you have the personal finances or funding to buy this car? No. So really the only way you were going to be able to buy this car was with my or your or whatever company credit card. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So it really wasn't impulsive then, was it? He's like, no. He's like, well,
premeditated would be a better word.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was actually one of the charges. And then he says, well, I knew like once I got fully trained and I really started doing some sales and stuff as well, I would be getting a company truck anyway, but I just needed this to get me through.
It's like, dude, go buy a moped.
Oh, I don't get it.
I mean, on the bright side, like, it was an expensive way to find out that he's a piece of shit. But yeah, you found out that he's a piece of shit.
Right. See, the thing is, like, for a very short, because he sent me an email back, and you would enjoy this probably, Dan, because it was like $6,000.
I'm sure I would. I'm enjoying every part of this.
It was like $6,000, and he was like, I will forfeit my salary for the next 9 weeks to pay you back. And he like listed out like how much each his paychecks would be, but he listed his take home pay as like paying me back, not like his gross pay. So like he would have paid me back technically almost like $8,000. And for a second, I'm like, that kind of works. I kind of make out on this deal. And then reality sank in. I was like, what kind of message does that send? Or what kind of precedent does that send when somebody else finds out that he bought a fucking car?
Yeah, with your money and then apologized later.
And then didn't get fired. And then what happens in a year when he's like, well,
I bought really this sweet Lambo for us.
I really want a jet ski, so let me go buy this jet ski. And I'll just forfeit my salary. And then he was like, I'll get paid on bonuses solely. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you're not. Number one, no. Number two, you're not getting your bonus for May now because fuck you.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to get your bonus for June because you've got a $6,000 debt to overcome. Like, you're never going to make enough money to offset $6,000 that I'm going to put on your fucking cogs. And then maybe you'll get a bonus in July, but it's going to be fucking August before you even get it. So, like, you're just not going to get paid for 10 weeks, and that's going to work for you.
Yeah, you're good. You can't afford a car now, dude.
What are you going to eat?
I think you better go work somewhere else.
And then, it gets better. And I was like,
no, it doesn't.
I said, no way. If I tell you right now, I want to get paid back by Friday, what are you going to do? He was like, well, I could get a loan. I'm thinking, probably should have done that in the first place.
Naturally. Where would you think you would get a loan from, son?
He said he could get a loan. He could get a second job. And I'm like, I don't know many jobs that are going to pay you $6,000 in the first week, but okay. Or here's the best one. He's like, I could start my own business.
Doing. What do you?
Did you
selling weed? Maybe he better go with cocaine or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what business he's gonna get.
The first week.
Last time I checked, usually when you start a business, you go backwards first because it like costs money to do shit. I got an idea. I'm gonna start my own business. Borrowing money from other people and buying vehicles with it. Now I'm curious. All right, so for everybody listening, here's a chance. We got Eric and I got 10 tickets to give away. 10 tickets to Fleet Wash Academy / The Huge. We're giving away Fleet Wash Academy tickets, so you can get there on Wednesday the 23rd. Well, get there on Tuesday the 22nd for Fleet Wash Academy on Wednesday the 23rd. Also gets you into the Huge for the 24th and 25th of August. There's some good we've had a lot of good comments coming in. We might cherry pick some of those and give some tickets away. Here's what I want to hear from you guys, and I got a quick story to tell, but I want to read some stories here. Give me some assimilating stories. What do you guys got? Give me some employee theft type of stories. I've got, we'll give some tickets away. If you got a great employee theft story, you're pretty much guaranteed a ticket.
You kind of deserve
it. I think. Here's what I got. I'm trying to think if this all happened all at once. I don't think it did. There's a precursor to the theft story. I want to say his name was Tyrone. Tyrone, and then his brother Tommy. Tyrone, apparently, like, we do mostly window cleaning in our business. Tyrone had all sorts of window cleaning experience, man.
That's right.
He had a felony that he told me about, but it actually wasn't on his record. So it must have still been in the courts.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't on his record, but I'm kind of glad he told me about it. Like, I felt like that actually was the reason I hired him. Was that he like said, here's the deal, man. I'm going to tell it to you exactly like it is. And he didn't, right? He told me his version of it. But I appreciated that he was like just forthcoming of, hey, before you go like look this shit up, I'm going to make sure you hear it from me. And I was like, well, I'm going to give you a shot because I can fire you tomorrow if you suck. But I'm very much inclined to give people shots. I like to give people shots. And I've also had really good luck with former criminals. They worked, not all of them, but a lot of them worked their asses off, right? They're so thankful to be like given the opportunity that some of our best employees have a really shitty track record. And then they kick ass for us because they're super thankful to be a part of a good team. So I'm not going to dog on the dude. Gave him a shot. He sucked. Just lazy, slow, didn't pick it up, was running late all the time. And Tommy, his brother, was his ride to work. Now, I worked with Tommy a day in the field, and Tommy, he wasn't the best dude in the world as far as like a cleaner goes, but he moved around the house pretty good. He got his job done. You didn't have to tell him twice type of dude. You didn't see him like sitting around digging around on a cell phone. He was always working. So one day Tyrone came in super late. Tommy came in late too because Tyrone was the guy driving. And so I told Brent and Zach, our two managers, like, you guys, like, I think Tyrone's got to go, man, but it's up to you guys. Let me know what you decide. And they're like, well, I think we got to let him go. I'm like, all right, fire him at the end when he gets back that day. Right? He showed up late. It's noon. Don't call him out of the field because that's just a pain in the ass to try to coordinate. Just fire him when he gets back. So they fire him when he gets back. The dude, like, corners them in an office, threatens them, like, talks down to them, just mother effing them all over the place. He calls me, leaves just, like, I forget if I answered the phone or just got a voicemail, but it was just mother effing you. I'm going to teach you a lesson, blah, 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 blah. Routinely, it was, I'm going to teach you guys a lesson. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I think I talked to him because I was like, Tyrone, like, the way you're saying that tells me you're going to do something stupid and I'm going to have the cops at the shop tomorrow. You just know that. They're going to be there. Like, I'm not taking any chances. I have a team that I have a lot of love for. You can't be a part of it. And like, I couldn't finish any of what I just said, right? Like, before I even said a thing, fuck you, Dan, you're a piece, like, just like, I'm going to be loud and belligerent, blah, blah, blah. We knew what we needed to know about him. He couldn't be a part of the team. I didn't fire his brother. His brother was still employed with us. His brother worked hard, asked for more, couldn't drive though. Tyrone was still his ride. I forgot about that. So the next day, I'll get to the theft. This isn't even the theft thing. This is just like a stupid ass employee story. The next day, Tyrone comes rolling in with Tommy in like their mom's minivan. Late. They were late. The 4 squads were there waiting for him. They went to go talk to Tyrone. Tommy came in, started his shift, took off in a company vehicle. Tyrone parked in the back because he saw the squads. The police officer went back there and talked to him and then came to talk to me. And he's like, I don't think you're going to have a problem with him. And I was like, oh, man, thank you so much, officer. What's the deal? And he's like, well, his license was suspended, so he shouldn't have been driving your vehicles anyway. And there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't need to go through it all with you. He got the message. If he shows up here, I'll just say he got the message. And I was just like, oh, good. Like, I mean, like, partially for my sake and my family's sake, right? Like, these guys could find where I live. I don't want to have a bunch of enemies out there, but also, like, I don't want my employees to be scared of some asshole threatening them. I think Tyrone might have ended up back in jail after he showed up to drop Tommy off, which was probably what he deserved. And like a week or two later, I just saw some weird like gas purchases on our gas card. And somebody had said like, why is there a mattress in the back of this van? And it turned out Tommy was using one of our vans. Like, he was basically homeless.
He was sleeping there.
He was sleeping in the back of one of our transit vans and using it just personally. Like, and he didn't. Now, unfortunately for him, I just had to fire him. He was a super good dude. I wish he just would have asked me. Like, right. I knew like he wasn't doing it to take advantage of it. He was on some hard times.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, I get that you're on hard times, man. I get it. But like, and if you would have asked me, I would have done whatever I could for you. I'm not lying. I've had people like live in my house that were our employees before. Mm-hmm. To my wife's dismay, I'm sure. But like, I've had people living in our house to help them out so that they could work for us and get out of whatever trouble they were in. Like,
yeah,
I like to do that stuff for other people. In this case, he just started using the gas card personally, started threw a shitty old mattress in the transit and was living in it. It's like, man, I got to let you go, man. So he didn't buy a car. He just accumulated a 2010 Ford Transit van and made it his own. So at least he didn't go buy it. He just took the old one that was in the back. All right, I got to catch up on some comments. Last to first, Casey Caudill says, Dan, can I move in? Hell yeah, Casey. Come on up. Believe it or not, right behind this bar is a guest bedroom. The bar ends right about here, actually. That's where the bar ends. There's a guest bedroom right behind me, and there's another one downstairs. It's summertime. I'd recommend the one downstairs. It's nice and cool down there. Who is this? Somebody says, when is Q&A open? Q&A is always open. Oh, that's Casey too. That's Casey too. Casey's been drumming up the questions. Says, stop laughing, Eric. Pay attention. Cash Money Trice millionaire.
Apparently.
I'm pretty sure this is all Casey. Casey got in and just started dropping it. Dropping it. It's good to have you on, Casey. Let me see here. What do we got? Who this? Jason said, had a guy call me wanting a job to teach him how to be my direct competitor.
A good business plan.
Can you teach me how to do what you do? All right, Casey said he's moving in. He said, let's go. Skid Daddy is on the way. So it's just me. Okay. Well, you can have your choice of bedrooms. I'll have the bush light.
Oh, man. Good times.
Now, I'm not saying you would think that sounds like a good deal. But my wife is out of town. Last night, my 7-year-old jumped into bed with me. I don't think I've ever been so uncomfortable in my life. Those little kids, like my wife knows not to snuggle with me. She's like, I don't want to snuggle with that sweaty piece of shit over there, right? Like, bed's big enough. She takes her side, I take my side. Your little kids, they just want to like snuggle up to you all night. I'm like, Danny, get the hell over there. Get back to the other side of the bed. It's an uncomfortable night's sleep. They're just little friggin' hot water bottles, those damn kids. So, Casey, if you come and you're crashing in bed, I'm just saying it's not everything it's made out to be in a plot household. You might end up with like a 5-year-old or 7-year-old taking up 3. They sleep sideways. They're going to sleep sideways. They're going to kick you all night, and they're hot as shit.
You're really selling this for me, Dan.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to talk them out of showing up here. Bush lights, though. Yeah, Eric doesn't know about being kicked in the face by kids. Yeah, I didn't get kicked in the face last night, but just like in the ribs. Like, and Danny, my 7-year-old, is a gymnast. She's got quite the kick.
You're really selling me on this kid thing.
They're great when they're not terrible.
It's like business is great until you get punched in the face. It's kind of like kids. They're great till they kick in the face.
Let's get into, Eric, let's talk a little bit about the multi-location thing, and then we'll wrap it up with a little Feet Wash Academy talk. But multi-location, I feel like this, how long have you been doing the 2 locations thing now? Was it a year, a little over a year?
Well, about a year. Yeah.
Did you buy the second location, or did you end up starting it from scratch?
No, we started from scratch. So, well,
because weren't there a couple that you were looking at buying?
Yeah. So we're still working on that. So we travel a lot because we're based out of. It's not like a huge area, right? I think there's like maybe 40,000 people in the town that our main location is in.
Okay.
So we were traveling, and then we tried to keep it in like one area, but we kept getting calls for. We call it across the bridge on the other side of the Bay Bridge. And finally,
Chesapeake Bay, what bay?
The Chesapeake Bay.
I'm a good guesser.
Finally, like I kept like pushing off, and I was like, you know what? Like, if the numbers work, like why shouldn't I do it? So we bid for one account, and the math worked where we still made, the profit we wanted to make. It still made the numbers work, so we just did it. And then we just kept adding stuff, like people would see the truck driving or whatever, and so we just kept adding. And next thing we know, we were driving like 2-3 hours 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, over there, we're already over here. Let's find a shop so we can leave from here and save all that time in payroll and fuel, which we were finally like getting some traction. Like we put a guy in place and to run that shop, and we honestly didn't really set him up that well for like success.
Was this the guy that bought a vehicle on your behalf, or is it a different guy?
This is not that guy. It was a different guy. It was one of our best technicians. We were like, we're gonna make him the manager over there. It's gonna be great. He already knows how to do everything. And
which is like, that's the first step, right? Is like, I got this guy that's really good.
Yeah.
Here's the next thing I need him to do. So I'm gonna send him to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And where we failed, or I failed, was we didn't really like make it extremely clear. Like, we want you to do this. We want you to do this. And this is how you do it. It was kind of like, here you go. Let me know what you need.
Go over there and make some money.
And what happened was he was stuck constantly trying to hire, constantly trying to get work done. So he was always on a truck, always trying to hire. Like, he never had time to actually be the boss.
Yeah. Which is like a very common place that a bunch of us get stuck at.
Yeah.
When we're in that like 1 to 2 person phase of like, well, now what? I'm working tons of hours per week, but I don't have enough money to like pay somebody to do some shit so I can go make more money.
Yeah.
Purgatory number 1.
That's right. So he got burnt out, and we kind of saw it coming. So before he quit, I was like, hey, like, pump the brakes, come back, go back to doing what you were doing with maybe a few little responsibilities. It's like, like a field supervisor or something. And we're going to find somebody that specifically has experience and has done something like this before, which is where we landed on the guy that I bought a car for. So
by accident.
Yeah. So he was actually doing, like I said before, he was doing really well. Like, he was really picking everything up, and he was making it his own. And I think
did he have fleet washing experience, or what experiences did he have that caused you to hire him for that like GM role in a different location?
He had he was in charge. What the hell was he doing? He come from like hospitality, right? Which it sounds like a weird place to come from for a service business, but at the end of the day, we're a customer service company.
Yeah, right? They get the customer service side of it for sure.
So we like that. He spoke well. He interviewed extremely well. And again, like we talked about a little while ago, like, it's easy to wash a truck. Like, that's not a hard thing to learn how to do. Learning how to deal with customers and people is what's hard. So he was doing great, other than, really understanding like the routing side. Like, that's kind of complicated. Which, if you're doing window cleaning in a route work capacity, I'm sure you understand that too. It's like, what's the most efficient way? And if somebody calls out or a customer decides to push to next week, like, how do you reconfigure everything to get everything done and still not lose your shirt? That takes some learning, and that's kind of where we were at with him, is trying to figure that out.
Yep.
So I will say, like, the nice thing is this guy that we used before, he was able to watch, like, oh, like, that's what you meant when you said take the office and make it your own. That's
so you didn't lose the guy that you kind of like brought back. He stayed on board.
Yeah. Yep. So he was able to really understand what we were asking of him.
Yeah.
Because we didn't describe it nowhere near clear enough the first go around. And the other thing is, we're in a better staffing position there. So we're going to kind of go back to him, and now that he better understands and sees what is really expected, and see where that gets us.
How many people do you have hired over there now?
How many do we have? So the guy that I fired Friday, the manager, had like 6 people supposed to start on Monday.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was like cool, but we didn't need 6 people. So
yeah, he was just pre-planning.
So we've got 7 or 8, I think, over there.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and honestly, we'll probably cut to just we're gonna figure out who's the strongest and
dial in the capacity and demand.
And then yeah. So I mean, it's or maybe they're all great and we'll just add another truck.
Jason says he needed 6 guys to hit his bonus. He's only going to make money on bonuses, so
yeah,
that's a goofy deal, man.
God, so yeah, it sucks because like we were just finally getting traction. Like we finally had like somebody there to hold everybody accountable, and we tracked like the numbers daily as far as like KPIs and stuff. So you could actually just watch it, like it was getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were on the right path, and then it just like chaos and
snowballed.
I'm hoping because this is all like literally, I'm only like a week and a day into this fiasco, so I'm hoping we'll be able to bounce back really quick and keep that trend where it was going. So,
have you been able? One of the biggest challenges I found with having multiple locations was when we got another location really humming, it always seemed to detract from what I was able to do at my main location. Have you been able to like sustain the same rate of growth at your main location while you're growing a second location? Or do you find yourself doing a little bit of like spinning plates over here and then spinning plates over there?
Well, I think we might be a little bit different in like the multiple location deal because we're only 2 hours apart. So it's not like we're 10.
Yeah.
So we can grow. We can kind of grow together. I mean, we've done a lot of SEO work over the past couple of years, and we get a ton of organic, just website leads coming in, probably 3 or 4 a week, which isn't a lot in like the power washing world. But
I was gonna say 3 to 4 weeks sounds like nothing if you're talking residential, but when you're talking fleet washing accounts, that could be 10, 20, 30, $100,000 accounts.
Exactly.
It matters.
Yeah. So we've added, I don't know, I bet close to $500,000 this year so far.
Nice.
Just organic, like whether they went Google or they saw a truck or whatever, like it's just, so it's been nice being that far apart. It helps.
Shout out Teresa McConnell jumping in. What's up, Teresa? Somebody said stop stressing. That's shorter, Jason. Shorter, Jason.
That's the ops manager that didn't get fired.
Stop stressing. He's the shorter one. There's probably a Jason that's taller. That's not him. He's the shorter one. You can tell because that's what his name says. So Fleet Wash Academy, Wednesday, August 23rd. 23rd, August 23rd, Wednesday, August 23rd, Fleet Wash Academy.
That's right.
Nashville at the Gaylord. You should probably fly in the 22nd.
You should, or the 21st and come to AMP too.
Fly on the 21st, go to AMP on the 22nd, go to Fleet Wash Academy on the 23rd. Huge convention is the 24th and 25th. Go home, make a week of it. Maybe stay an extra day because the Gaylord's awesome. There's like a freaking water park there. Stay an extra, bring the kids, stay an extra day. What have you? Are you bringing any fam? You bring any fam with you?
My wife's coming. She'll be coming in with me on Monday, I guess. And then, but she's got to go. She's got to leave early. She's got to go back to work. She works in the school, so she's going back to work on like Friday. It's so stupid. Their first day back is a Friday.
I don't even know what to
say. Kids, but first day back for teachers is a Friday. Like, why not just push it to Monday?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. I don't. It's weird.
Yeah.
Government jobs. So got one of them government jobs.
She's going back to work, so I'll be with her all week except for one day.
All right. Well, once she leaves, then we'll really party. So Fleet Wash Academy all day on the 23rd. What's the cost? What is it? I dropped the link earlier. both on the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream to check that out. If you sign up for Fleet Wash Academy on the 23rd, you automatically, for free, get into the huge convention. So don't go buy a ticket for the huge convention. Go buy a ticket for Fleet Wash Academy, and then you get the huge convention for free. What does Fleet Wash Academy cost? What
$249. $259.
$259?
$249.
$249. I was even wrong.
What's a $10 ticket cost?
I have no idea.
I think the huge ticket is like $239.
I would say it probably right about the same level.
Where are we at?
About the same level.
$230.
It's like a buy one get one.
So it's $20.
Yeah,
$20.
I do think actually this is outside looking in, because I don't do fleet washing, but I've done maid service, I've done window cleaning, I've done pressure washing. We're in high rise window cleaning now. We do the holiday lights. I do bookkeeping. I do recruiting. We do some marketing.
You should do some fleet washing.
Fleet washing is up there in terms of like industries that I've seen that I haven't done, where I'm just like, oh man, if I started another business. Fleet washing and landscape lighting. Like everybody's doing the garage floor coatings, and those are neat, but I just don't like, landscape lighting, super sexy to me. Fleet washing, super sexy to me for a different reason, right? Fleet washing is like maid service on steroids. It's recurring, just really big freaking clients instead of really annoying, shitty customer service clients.
Right.
That's the difference between fleet washing and maid service. It's like pressure washing with bigger accounts that are just bigger and better and less customer service needs. I don't know from a business model perspective, I don't know about all the nuances of how to clean it. But like we said earlier, who gives a shit about that? And landscape lighting, I just think would be fun. It's like holiday lighting, but all year. It'd be fun.
The cool thing about fleet washing is like when you get into like maid service or holiday lights or like those things, I feel like they're emotional purchases, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you walk into a clean house, it makes you feel a certain way. If you're an owner operator, you feel a certain way when your truck gets washed, or like you get your car detailed, but that's not what we do. We're dealing with, typically we try to deal with just fleet managers and fleets of 10 or more, or at least 10. That's kind of
you're part of the maintenance program.
Yeah. So it's like, it's an unemotional necessity, right? So you're not trying to like, it's not are we going to do it again next year? Or are we going to do it like, we're going to do it every week and that's it. We're done. So it's not like, I don't know. I feel like it's an easy sell. They need it. I feel like, and I won't say it's recession proof, right? But they're always going to have to do it. You know, it's always a part of maintenance. Mm-hmm. You might fire your housekeeper if money gets tight.
But the guys running trucks still need to like maintain their vehicles.
Right.
What's the typical fleet that you run into? Is it guys? Guys is not the right term. Is it humans? But is it a company that hasn't been getting their shit washed and has been trying to do it internally? Or is it a company that's like, we had these guys and they sucked and they're not reliable. They say they're going to do this and they do that. So can you guys come and do it? Like, what's the spectrum of that? Like what companies are hiring you?
I'd say it's 70%. We got a company and they suck.
Mm-hmm.
25%. They maybe not even that much. I don't know. Majority of it is they got a company that does it and they suck. Mm-hmm. Another small percent is we've been doing it in-house, the fleet's growing, and we just don't have the time to fool with it. So we need somebody else to do it. Mm-hmm. We don't go after, like, a lot of people think when we tell them we wash trucks, they're like, oh, that's a dirty truck, you should wash that one. Like, I go after the ones that are clean, right? If I see a truck going down the road and it's just disgusting, and I see it several times and it always looks like that, like,
it's like, oh,
I'm not going to waste my time because clearly they don't care.
Yeah.
With a truck that's clean or it's like kind of clean, like you can tell they did okay, but not great, that's the guy I'm
calling. Shorter Jason says, number 2, 80-20.
Number 2.
Okay, one more question for you. If somebody's not in fleet washing today, I mean, the people that are watching and listening, they're in the home service space, right? They're maid service, they're pressure washing, they're window cleaning, they're garage floor coatings, they're landscape lighting or holiday lighting. So many of us are getting into other industries where we feel like our capacities are better, where our skill sets are better, where we have more passion. We get burned out on this industry, but it translates to that industry.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a good fit for fleet washing? Like if somebody's not in fleet washing today and is sitting out there like, yeah, I'm in the home service space or just in the service industry in general, but I'm not crushing it or not loving it. But man, like commercial sales and fleet washing sounds up my alley. Who's the most likely candidate? Is it a maid service because they're people that are used to recurring business? Is it a pressure washer because they're used to fire and water all day? Who's the best fit?
I'd say a pressure washing company because they've already got everything. You know, we like 8 gallons a minute.
But I feel like you got to learn a lot of different chemistry when you're just spraying vinyl siding and then you go to spraying metal trucks.
Not really. I guess if you got to pick a good vendor. You know what I mean? Like there's vendors out there that have tons of different soaps and a different soap for anything you can imagine, right? Any combination. Our vendor has 2 soaps. They actually have 4, but 2 like main soaps that we use. And I am a big fan of find a vendor that you like, that you want to do business with, and they're going to help you out. And then figure out, like, I know how to make the 2 soaps that we use do anything we need to do versus trying to teach a crew, hey, you want to use these 2 for this truck. And then when you get to this customer, you want to use this combination of soaps. And then when you get to this one, you're going to do something different. Like I want to take what we have and utilize it as much as we can without making any changes. Because it's easier to train. It's more scalable. It's less confusing. It's just like 1, 2, 3, done.
Yeah. I got you. Jason Hefner says, I got this. I need to fill my July-August schedule. Let's don this. But I'm pretty sure the N was a typo, so I think he meant let's do this. Let's don this. Here's the thing, Eric. We got to give away some Fleet Wash Academy tickets. I think we had a bunch of viewers early on, and in hindsight, we should have done the old like, hey, drop a note in, and then we'll like get some engagement if you say a thing that we want you to do, and then blah blah blah. So let's do this. I think we can go back through the comments from today and pick a couple. But if somebody's interested in attending Fleet Wash Academy, I mean, frankly, like we get some live viewers, but thousands of people listen to the podcast. So let's say a couple thousand listen to the podcast. We don't want to rule those people out. Those people listen to the podcast probably need to get into Fleet Wash Academy. Check it out.
That's right.
How do we want them to be able to win a ticket? You want them to message you? You want them to email you? Want them to send you a passenger pigeon, or probably even best yet, a singing telegram?
Man, if somebody sent me a singing telegram, I feel like they deserve more than 1 ticket.
Did you know that if Blue Skies Bookkeeping can't get a hold of you, this is in our position contract that every employee has to sign about our rules of engagement. First, we need to text you if we can't get a hold of you. Mm-hmm. Second, we email you. Third, we call you. I don't know. It's somewhere in that order. Fourth is something like try to find you on Voxer or social media or some other app. I think then it goes to send you a letter, which we never do. Then it goes to passenger pigeon, and last is a singing telegram, and it is documented that is the order that it will happen in.
Have you ever sent the pigeon or the telegram?
Nope.
I'm going to ghost my bookkeeper until I get him to.
I think we'll fire you before we get to step 6. I think we'd fire you before our bookkeeper had to do that, but that's what their instructions are. Just so you know.
Oh, all right. So what do we got to do? Let's. What do you think? An email or a Facebook message? Facebook message is definitely easier.
Well, I mean, we're streaming on Facebook now, right?
Yeah.
So I think if somebody's going to catch this podcast later, do you want them? Let's do this. Let's say Facebook. Do you want them to find you personally and go look up Eric Trice, or do you want them to find Fleet Wash Academy and go post in that group? Because that'd be kind of cool. You got a Fleet Wash Academy group.
Yeah. Let's do that. You got to tag me in the post, otherwise there's a good chance I won't see it.
All right, that's the deal, guys. If you're hearing this now or if you're hearing this later, get on Facebook. If you don't have some people don't have a Facebook page. Well, fuck you guys. Get a Facebook page. Get on Facebook. Go find the Fleet Wash Academy group. Drop a message in there for Eric and say, "Hey, I want a free ticket." That's all you gotta say. Give me a free ticket, bitch. Can they call you a bitch, Eric?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I've been called.
Dan said, "Give me a free ticket, bitch."
If you don't have Facebook, shoot me an email.
Yeah. Where should they email you?
Eric at thefleetwashacademy.com. You can put that in there.
I'm trying to type, and it's really hard.
Do you realize that you're typing a comment on Facebook for people that don't have Facebook?
So that I've typed it into my computer, which goes to the YouTube feed. Eric with a C. I'm saying Eric with a C for everybody that's listening on the podcast. Eric at the Fleet. Fleet is spelled Fleet. The Fleet Wash Academy. And for my buddy Ben Smith, who can't spell shit, Academy is spelled Academy. Did I get that right, Eric? Are you reading the screen right now? Because I kind of did. Academy.
That's it.
Academy.com. Eric at thefleetwashacademy.com. Eric with a C. Academy with a Academy.com. Who dis? Somebody says, "Do I get a car with the ticket?" Brian Schmaltz, he wants a free car. I think he thinks this is the Price is Right.
I wonder if we can get Infinity G37 tattoos. And everybody who comes to the Fleet Wash class can get an Infinity tattoo. But not everybody's going to understand why.
I need some new Pilata tats this year. Eric at the Fleet Wash. All right. It is officially, Brian says, on your neck. God, yeah. The Pilata tats that dispersed from last year were something else. There we go. If you're on YouTube, check out Eric at thefleetwashacademy.com. If you're on Facebook, check out Eric at thefleetwashacademy.com. If you're listening to the podcast, which you probably are at some point, Eric at thefleetwashacademy.com. Drop a note. Go check out Fleet Wash Academy. Say, "Hey, Eric, I want a free ticket to Fleet Wash Academy at the Huge. It is going to be August 23rd. That's a Wednesday. Flying on the 22nd. Or if you're super inclined and you want to go to the AMP Mastermind on the 22nd, flying on Monday the 21st. Otherwise, plan on flying on a Tuesday the 22nd. Check out Fleet Wash on the 23rd. Huge convention is the 24th and 25th. Yours truly is one of the MCs. I'm co-MCing it with my guy, Sid Graff. So we're having a whole lot of fun doing that. Already doing like live shows, having speakers. Eric, do we have a date where you're coming on the Huge convention live thing with us?
I don't think we have scheduled one yet. We probably should, huh?
We should do that. We'll talk to Sid.
Yeah.
But 2 months and counting, guys. 2 months and counting. It'll be here before we know it. We'll all be drinking Busch Lights together, having a damn good time. That's what's going to happen. So, cheers.
I don't know that I've ever had a Busch Light.
The fuck is wrong with you? How have I known you for this long and you have never had a Busch Light?
How have you not offered me a Busch Light?
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming me. Let me be clear.
You were handing out Bud Lights last year.
I'm not going to hand out Bud Lights this year. I'll tell you what. Tell you what, boy.
Are you going to Instacart Busch Light?
No, I don't give a shit about all that. Busch Light, Bud Light, it's all the same shit. I grew up in Wisconsin. I'm a Miller guy, but I usually drink Coors Light, and I usually drink Busch Light because it's cheap. Funny to drink Busch Light because it's freaking Busch Light, right? But I drank Coors Light at the golf course today, but I'm from Wisconsin, so I'm a Miller guy. Let's just say I'm a borderline alcoholic and I just really like shitty light beer. How about that?
It's the most honest thing I've heard all day.
If you can't speak the truth on bookkeeping, beer, and BS, I don't know where you can. Eric, thanks for hanging out. Mostly, thanks for sending me a Facebook message right before I was about to grab a drink and go to bed. And then, therefore, we were able to do this episode on a Monday night. Bonus.
I appreciate you not ghosting me.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you sent me a message. Fun hanging out with you. We'll follow up with Sid. We'll get you on the huge live show. Business nerds, thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be a busy week. I've been on hiatus for a couple weeks here. Vacations and then just kiddo stuff. But we're coming back with a vengeance this week, so look out.
That's right.
We'll have 2 episodes on Wednesday, back to back. We'll be busy.
Who's coming on Wednesday?
That's a really good question. Who is coming on Wednesday? I know I got somebody.
Not that I care. I just want to help you promote your Wednesday show. I
got Jeff. I forget his last name, but Jeff from Freedom Exterior Pros. He's over. I think he's a Michigan boy. He's buddies with my buddies Zig and Ryan over there in the Detroit area. I think he's over. I'm pretty sure he's a Michigan guy. But he's just he messaged me and is like, "Hey man, appreciate you doing the show. Can I jump on sometime?" And I was like, "Yep." So he's coming on to BS and drink some beer with me. It'll be fun.
I'll have to come back sometime.
It's always good. Wednesday nights are a good time to drink Busch Lights. Come back with some Busch Lights.
I'll grab some Busch Lights.
You won't regret it.
I'll never look back.
All right, Eric. Good hanging. Thanks for staying up late. It's freaking late for you. It's late for me, but it's an hour later for you, so I appreciate that. Business nerds, thank you guys. We'll see you Wednesday. Until then, you know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. Good night.